Hello, fellow Rebel Capitalists. Hope you're well. Wanted to go over another story from the crypto world, another bankruptcy. As most of you can guess, Celsius, the gentleman that debated my good buddy Peter Schiff, what was it, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, said that his business was very strong, and it may have been back then, but with the volatility in the crypto space, you can go from having a very strong balance sheet to being completely insolvent in a matter of months. So this is, but what's interesting too is we've seen this game before. We've seen how this movie ends. And whether it's with mortgage-backed sausages during the GFC, whether it's the dot-com, whether it's with cryptocurrency, it's the same thing. When you expect the price to never, ever, ever go down, you create this inverted pyramid of leverage that's based on a foundation of debt. And it's to the moon, right? Why shouldn't we lever up? Why shouldn't we max out our credit cards? Why shouldn't we take out a mortgage, a HELOC, or do a cash out refi on the equity in our home to buy cryptocurrency? It's never going to go down. So why would you not do this? And again, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It was the same thing with mortgages, with houses during or prior to the GFC. And we see the same thing happening right now. So lesson learned here is whenever we get another asset class, and we'll get them in the next decade or maybe the next 5 years, maybe even sooner, where everyone will be saying that the price can never, ever go down. Famous last words. So whenever you hear the market participants saying that the price can never go down, that should be a huge, huge red flag that will most likely end up in a lot of bankruptcies. Now, it's not to say that Bitcoin and Ethereum or some of these cryptocurrencies are completely washed up and they're done. It's just to say that the space in general was bound for something like this to happen. And I know, and to be fair, I know a lot of the Bitcoiners and whatnot were, well, I'm not going to drag them into it. Let's get into the story here. And this is from CNN Business. Oh boy, what just happened? Okay. No thanks. Crypto lender Celsius files for bankruptcy. This is the guy that debated Schiff, the CEO. U.S. crypto lender Celsius Network. And I'm sure this guy never, I don't know, maybe he was running a Ponzi, maybe he knew what was going to happen, maybe not. Who knows? But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that, he set up his business model not to fail or not to rip people off. That was never the intention. But it was just a business model that was built on a specific asset, always going up. And when it doesn't go up, or maybe it's built on the premise that XYZ asset can only go down by 10% or 15%. And every single time that you do that, it's going to bite you in the rear end. It'll go down by 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. So this Wednesday, it filed for bankruptcy. Yesterday, becoming the latest victim of the cryptocurrency sector to wilt under a dramatic plunge in prices. Jersey-based Celsius listed estimated assets, liabilities. That's quite a range between $1 billion and $10 billion. Okay. According to a court filing with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Southern District of New York. Okay. Crypto lenders boomed during the survey sickness, drawing depositors with high interest rates and easy access to loans rarely offered by the traditional banks. Again, if it seems too good to be true, most likely is. They, however, tumbled in recent months following a crash in the cryptocurrency prices and the collapse of major token Terra USD in May. And so this was just a house of cards. And the Bitcoin, most of them, I think, got it right. Most of the Bitcoin maximalists, if you will, But like I said, there were a lot of them that were saying you should max out your credit card. You should take out a mortgage on your home just to buy Bitcoin. No, that's you don't want to do that with any asset. That's not smart. That's a bad, bad, bad strategy. And if you do that over the long run, you're going to get burned, even if you get lucky in the short term. I don't care what it is. I don't care how great the crypto is. I don't care how great the precious metal is. I don't care how great the real estate market is, the stock, the commodity super cycle. It doesn't matter. You don't leverage your house, for heaven's sakes, just to buy something that doesn't yield anything. I mean, it just where you've got a negative carry. You've got to come up out of pocket for that, let's say, mortgage payment or that debt payment, debt service every single month, and you're just banking on the appreciation of what you borrowed to purchase. It's insanity. Celsius is not requesting authority to allow customer withdrawals at this time. The company said in a press release, adding that it has filed a series of customer motions with the court to allow it to continue to operate in normal course. The company has $167 million in cash, which will provide liquidity to support certain operations. Celsius froze withdrawals, citing extreme market conditions. Okay, well, is that part of the deal? when you think about that, you give your money to the bank, and they say, "Oh, whoa, no, you can't have your money today because extreme market conditions. The dollar just went up by 10%." I mean, that should not be a condition of you having access to your gold, to your silver, to your Bitcoin, to your cash. So now that we've discussed kind of the downside of what's happening with the crypto market, now let's discuss some of the upside. I was kind of talking about the Bitcoin maxis earlier and how not all of them, but a vocal minority, let's say, was really pounding the drum for people to just leverage their entire life to buy crypto or Bitcoin because it's only going up, right? It's going to 100,000 million. It's never going to stop. Just do what Michael Saylor does. But most of them, kind of the silent majority, let's say, didn't hold those views, and hats off to them. But for those individuals, got good news. I mean, look at this. Bitcoin hasn't really gone below 1920. I mean, it dipped down into the 17,000 handle just for a moment, maybe a day or two. But with all of this terrible news in the crypto market, Bitcoin's still hanging on around 1920. So I'm not saying that we're at a bottom. I'm not saying I'm buying. Definitely there isn't panic, but this is definitely a good sign if you are bullish on Bitcoin, because you would think with all this news, it should be tanking, and it's holding strong. Now, that said, it's down 70% or whatever. So it tanked a lot, even prior or during this news coming out, especially with Terra Luna. But with all of the residual kind of knock-on effects and systemic risk that we're seeing, it's hanging on pretty strong right around that support level that it got to in maybe 2018. I'm no technician, but you guys know what I'm referring to. Kind of the peak that it got to in 2018 or the beginning of 19, somewhere around there. So that's maybe acting as some support to the price. We'll have to see if it goes a lot lower, but I don't know. Again, let me be very clear. I'm not saying go out and buy it. I'm not buying it. I'm not saying that the price is going to skyrocket from here. I'm not saying that this is forming a bottom, but I am saying that if you're bullish long term, this is a good sign for sure. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. As always, make sure that you're standing up for freedom, liberty, free market capitalism. We'll see you in the next video.